Sweet.
Welcome to Grid. Today we're going to be talking about how to find deals through prospecting, networking, and marketing. All right, this is January 2025. If you have not been to Grid before, what is Grid, Cory?
Welcome. So, Grid is our global investor community. We like to bring down here to a hyper-local level through networks like this. This is a community that's built by investors for investors. We definitely like to say we are not here to be gurus to pontificate on high. We are just here as real people doing real deals in real time, here to share our experiences with you. We're trusting that you're going to be sharing your experiences with us so we can all learn and grow together.
You said it very well. I love it, dude. It's almost like you've done it before.
Almost, right? Almost, right.
So, Grid has a mission to help 1 million people get financially free. So my business partner, Rob Chavez, started doing an investor meetup 17 years ago. He still does it on the first Tuesday of every month. If you are in the DMV, you should go check it out. We started Grid 11 years ago. So that is to connect people with the resources, right, to become financially free. It is mathematically impossible to save your way to retirement. I'll repeat that again. If you making median income in this country try to save, it would take you 80 years to have enough income to be able to retire, right? So we all are going to have to invest somehow, some way, right? Whether that's in a 401k, crypto, a friend's business, real estate. And so we firmly believe that real estate ownership, investment, and small business ownership are the keys to financial freedom. So we want to connect and build real community so people just like us, ordinary people, can build wealth through real estate.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%.
So if you are new here, welcome. Who's new? Who's new to Grid?
Love
awesome.
that.
Who's new to investing? Who considers themselves a new investor? Who doesn't own an investment yet? Raise your hands high. That's how you get them. Awesome, right?
You're in the right room.
You are in the right room. Only it's less than 12% of the population owns investment real estate. Okay? So just being in this room where the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, you are on a path that will change your financial future. It has changed my good friend Cory's financial future.
That's right.
Right? In a very short amount of time, like real estate investing is. So, Cory, what if they're not new? What if they're experienced?
So, if you're experienced, if you've been around this game for a while, welcome. Again, thank you. We're glad to have you here. We're, again, trusting that you're going to be sharing your experiences with the rest of the room so we can all learn and grow together. That is really how it is. We would love to work with you and partner with you. I'm always looking for folks to joint venture with. So if that's something you'd be interested in, please give me a holler. I'd be happy to have more conversations around that. We're stoked to have you.
Yeah, and if you're just walking in, hey, Amy, you can grab their seats up front. It's going to be like 80 minutes if you're standing, so just fair warning. Like, I would not want to stand that whole time. All right, awesome. So if you know anybody, we stream these online, share it with your friends. All the recordings are there, right? Like, you'd be surprised how many people around you are interested in learning how to invest in real estate. Mm-hmm. I constantly am. This is really interesting. Cory, I don't know where the slides went, but who are you?
Yeah, so that's I come here. So my name is Cory King. I'm the managing partner for the Causa Group.
Yep.
I've been
handsome devil?
I've been an agent and investor for the last 5 years here in Knoxville. Previous career was actually in restaurant hospitality management and ownership there. So I love being able to bring the experiences I learned from that business into this, which is really just being hospitable, taking care of people at the end of the day. And yeah, that's me.
And in just 5 short years, I've watched Cory build a real estate team with me. He's retired his wife. He's got over $1 million in net worth. He's totally created enough passive income to replace his bills. That took 3 years. So we overestimate what we can do in 1 year. We vastly underestimate what we can do in 5 years. There are a lot of people whose life has been changed by real estate investing in this room, and real estate, being a real estate agent. Like a ton of people. Like it is a great path. My name is Justin Myers. I started in real estate when I was 23 in 2005 as a mortgage broker down in Tampa, which was interesting. I was on the bus. I had never owned a car or had any credit, and I was selling mortgages to people. I learned that you should look out for your seniors because they will give strangers their social security number over the phone in less than 45 seconds. Like I was calling out of the phone book, and they were all giving me their information. So check on your Nana. And I've got to experience a lot of different facets of the real estate industry. I discovered I have a real passion for building community, right? And was ironic as I remember getting into real estate. Man, it was 2010. I was going through a divorce. I came and got a job here. I cut my hair off. I took out my earrings, right? Took out the piercings and got a job working as a transaction coordinator. And I remember distinctly being like, my job doesn't have to fulfill me. I can just go be responsible for once in my life. And ironically, doing this, I found real estate has opened the doors to, right? We've started nonprofits. We've impacted people. It's actually been really fulfilling. But it started off as I'm just gonna do this as a job. And then over the time it became a vocation. So really excited to be here. Let's talk about some wins.
Yeah.
Who's got a win they want to share? Where's Garrett? Garrett, you in here? Is Garrett out front? Manning it down? All right,
Probably still locking it down.
When he comes in, let's make it all real. We'll cheer for him. Garrett just passed his real estate test, and he loves attention from a room full of people. So who else has a win?
Coogie.
I recently just got my real estate license.
Let's go!
Been trying to get at that for about a year and a half. Been connected with my dude Jay Glass here. Watchful Wall. It's been talking to me a lot, motivating me because it took a while. Came back from college. I went to college in Jackson, Tennessee. Went for a little bit. Realized, okay, this ain't for me. I want to do real estate. Come back home. Went to real estate school. Failed the national test a few times. Got discouraged. Stopped trying. Kept trying again. Finally passed it. And now I'm a licensed realtor at 19 years old. So, yeah.
Congrats, dude.
Let's go.
Thank y'all, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here and, just put myself around people that are, elder of me. I just like to learn. That's my main thing. I know knowledge can take you so far, so I just like to learn, and I'm grateful to be here. Happy to be here around y'all. Thank y'all for doing what y'all do.
We are
Thank
glad.
Thank you for encouraging me.
We are glad you were here. If you were 19, you want to know, here's some free game. Max out your IRA and just don't make terrible decisions, and you're going to be okay. Really.
Yeah, for real. You're good.
Just don't die, and you could just retire.
Yeah,
you could
you're
just
good.
do that, and you'll actually be okay. Yeah, glad you're in the room.
Yeah,
you're
glad
in
to
the
have
right
you.
place. Who else has got a
Who
win they
else?
want to share? Nobody? Man. Everybody's in-laws were in town. It was terrible. We had the
Love it.
holidays. What's up, Will?
I've got twins on the way.
Yes!
Yeah, let's
go! Let's go. Will needs more deals. Will needs more deals. Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations. You're
Congrats.
young. You're young. You can go without sleep. That's amazing. What, I need one more win. Who's got a real
So
estate
Laura
win?
raised her hand.
Hand back there.
Yeah.
Laura, what's up?
So I worked with two people in this group, Lauren and Lisa McNeely, and we just signed a lease for a retail business. We're going to expand our coffee shop in Knoxville.
Awesome.
Love that.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Right over by Kazzy's in North Shore Town Center, right? Is where this, what's the name of the coffee shop?
Primo Paso Coffee.
Primo Paso Coffee.
Love
Yeah.
that. Congrats.
You can go in
That's
there
awesome.
and tell them you know the owner. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll do some categories real fast, Cory.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, who's in here's buying deals? Every hand should be up. That's an easy one. Love
Yeah.
that. Very good.
Who's got a deal to sell tonight? Morgan's got a deal. Wee's got a deal. Two deals in the room. So I guess everyone, they're going to be the most popular girls at the ball. Cory's got a couple
one.
deals.
I got one for sure.
All right, great. Who's got cash? Who's
money to
who's got
lend.
money to lend? All right. I love it.
Look around. Those of you looking for
Fantastic.
money, raise the hands again, because I'm looking for some cash. So who's got it?
Okay.
Thank you.
We got any contractors in the room tonight? Any contractors? What's your name? Tyler Holt.
Tyler.
What's your name? Frankie Ramos. Alex is a contractor as well. Anybody else? Any other contractors in there? Joey. What's your name, sir? Tyler in the back. Alex and Tyler are anonymous. They don't want you to know their last names. So fantastic. Cory, what am I missing? Who's got like a really weird niche that I would never guess? Anybody got something interesting in here? Justin, you got a weird niche.
Public adjuster,
Okay. What's a public adjuster?
handle insurance claims for the property owner.
Yeah.
Make sure the insurance doesn't screw you.
Yep. So,
I have a real estate team and a construction company.
okay.
Take care of all of it.
Fantastic.
Love it.
So
It's done
he
in a
said he had
box.
some kind of a team, I don't know, and a construction company. No, he's got a real estate team and a construction company.
That's awesome, man. Good
I'm
stuff.
just, I'm just playing. We got a real estate team. Yes, sir.
CRM services and consulting.
CRM services. So, for what's a CRM for my new folks that don't know what a CRM is?
Basically just your centralized, organized system that you keep all your lead generation, data, and automation in.
I'm going to dumb it down. CRM is a contact relationship manager. That's your database. So that's where you're tracking all the people that you're talking to. Everybody should have some form of that in the room because we're talking about how to find deals, which is lead generation, even if it's just a Google spreadsheet for now. But a CRM is essential if you start professionalizing this. You want to do it at scale. Cool. And who's new? Who's new again in the room? Raise your hand. Fantastic.
Love that.
Okay.
That's cool.
Some giveaways?
Yeah, we'll do a couple giveaways. Who thinks
Okay.
they traveled the furthest to get here tonight? Travel the furthest. We've had some folks from like Italy.
Yeah,
before
that
in
was
this room.
that
That
was
was pretty
that was
wild.
fun.
Yeah,
California?
that was pretty wild.
Nashville?
Cool, all right.
Okay.
It's about 3 hours.
Anybody travel further than Nashville? All right.
No.
Looks
Cool.
like Alex,
we
winner,
got you,
winner,
man.
chicken
Winner,
dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner. Hit up our boy Garrett. Garrett, hey, there you are. Actually, Garrett, you had a win. What's your
Garrett
win,
passed
dude?
his real estate license.
Welcome.
I love it.
Alex, get with Garrett here after this, man. We'll get you hooked up.
Garrett's got some swag for you. All right. Who's our youngest attendee? Anybody younger than 19? Oh, Alexia. You want some grid swag? You want a little grid shirt? I think so. Amy, we got her hooked up. Sorry, Coogie. She got you beat. She got you beat. All right. Tag us, Grid Knoxville, on Facebook and Instagram. Why would you want to tag us? Why would we be telling you to tag us, right? One, it helps us, but here's the more important thing. Hijack our audience, right? Like hijack exposure. There's a way to do this. There's a synthesis. Where's Alexis Chapman? Alexis has a win. She started a marketing company, right? And Alexis does amazing posts. And I'm like, let me jump in the selfie with you, Alexis, with all of your reach, promoting like, if you are in this thing, you want everyone to know that I buy deals.
Yeah.
And when I show up at an investor meetup, then people will know that I am an investor. And you know who has deals? People that I know have deals. They drive by junky houses. Their aunt just passed away. We got to sit with the guy, Mailbox Money B. Mm-hmm. Mailbox Money B said that his biggest source of real estate deals, this guy is organic social media. And this guy is multi-million-dollar producer. And he still said organic non-paid social media is where he gets the most. And he's got billboards, he got all this stuff, dialers, call center, and organic social media is his biggest lead source. Yeah. So tag us, we'll do a giveaway at the end.
We'll do a giveaway at the end. Just, let your people know what you're doing. I mean, honestly, like if you're looking to get into real estate and investing, one of the biggest ways to find these opportunities is to just let the people that you know, let them know that this is what you're doing. I'm in this real estate investing game. I'm looking for deals. I'm looking for opportunities. People will bring them to you. I promise you.
All right. So if you're new, one question to ask yourself is, have I earned the right to invest? I should only be investing money that I could potentially lose, right? Trust but verify. And the state of Tennessee wants us both to know, and our broker will be very happy. Where's Angel?
Angel's at the back. Hi,
Angel's
Angel.
in the back, right? This will make you happy, Angel. We are not home inspectors. We are not real estate attorneys. We are not tax professionals, okay? We are experts on selling real estate and being fiduciary consultants. That's it. Everything else, trust but verify.
Well said.
Yes.
Well said.
Let's set the stage, Cory. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, if you are in the real estate investment space, understand that first and foremost, you are in a sales and marketing business. First and foremost, any business you're really getting into starts off with sales and marketing. If you don't find the opportunities, you have nothing else to do. In real estate sales, you are a lead generator first and foremost. Selling a home or a piece of property is a byproduct of that.
Yeah. And really, truly, if you're not in the sales and marketing business, you're doing your clients a disservice. How are you sure I'm unearthing every opportunity? If you're an agent, if I am an investor, again, you are in the sales and marketing business. Either you are generating in that opportunity or you are paying someone else handsomely to generate that opportunity for you. We're tens of thousands of dollars for doing work that you could do with time, money, and effort yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yep. Whether you want to wholesale a home, fix and flip, purchase a rental, nothing happens until you have the lead, until you've created the opportunity.
Yeah. And so I didn't like the word lead or lead generate, right? That sounds cold and impersonal. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it making friends. We use those terms because those are terms that are standard in the industry. More importantly, those are terms that you're going to hear, like sales is an art, sales is a science. There are lots of books on selling. So if I talk about lead generation, I could talk to a car salesperson or someone in another industry. They're going to speak the same language. So just to be clear, that's why we're using those terms. Like, we're really talking about identifying people that are motivated and building relationships with them.
That's
But
right.
if I don't have leads, I can't do any of this. And so I got to prospect, network, and market. We'll discuss what those actually are.
Yep.
Why
That's
is it
right.
important that you're purposeful?
Well, I mean, certainly you can just waste a lot of time, right? You could be spinning your wheels, waste a lot of money doing this, chasing all different sources, different ways to do it. So if you really just don't have a crystal clear plan in place and a model to follow along to really implement in this,
Who's wasted
going uphill.
some time and some money in this game? Yeah?
Yep.
Anybody got an anecdote they want to share about wasting time and money, not having a plan? Yeah, in the back. What's that? You bought an old BMW. I love it. I love it. Right? Anybody else? Maybe sent out a mailer it didn't proofread, right?
yeah.
Or burned money on internet leads, or chased down a lot of people that weren't maybe qualified, right?
Send a postcard campaign with no other real follow-up, just a random, just listed, just sold kind of an approach with nothing behind that.
Here, Rasheed, let's hear the story. You're close enough. I can get you up here. You think on it? You think about it for a second. Here's what I see more often, Cory, and this is actually true. What's more often is Wednesday, I'm a networker, so I'm going to go to the chamber, and I go network, and I pass out some cards, but I don't have any plan to call these people or follow up with them or stay present. I don't have a database, so maybe that works, maybe that doesn't. Tuesday, maybe I go door knocking, but I don't take good notes, right? Thursday, I buy some internet leads, but I don't have the discipline. I don't know. I got to call them 11 times and beat everyone else to actually convert them, right? I try these different things, and I never try them long enough to dissect, why am I failing, right? Is it the leads not right? Is my approach not right? Is my follow-up not correct? So it's important to be purposeful when we do these things, because there are proven methods, there are proven ROIs, and even then, it's complicated, but we can at least narrow down what we're looking to do.
That's right.
So,
Yep. So in that, right, the goal is just to be able to create a predictable outcome consistently over time. Really, the one way to do that is we call this approach zone. And we're gonna dive into what that system really looks like. Here next. So Z. You do it? Me do it?
yeah, I can do it. Well, I think when we talk about predictable opportunities, just know this. We talk about 7 levels of wealth at Grid, right? If you go, we're starting some training on the 21st. It's an agent investor training. It goes through the 7 levels of wealth. The first one is identity and mindset. The second one is skills. Do I have the skills to convert that one, right? And the third one is business ownership. But that skills, there are predictable outcomes. We know where our business comes from. We know where we convert. We know the effort required depending on the type of business that we're working for. And so there's a system to do this. Z in zone is, how do I zero in on my target market? Who am I looking to do business with? What's the avatar of the person I'm looking to identify, right? How do I zero in on a target market?
Yeah. So I think in that too, right, is understanding that zeroing in on that can look a number of different ways. That could be a particular area. This could be a particular zip code, a particular neighborhood in there. We like to also talk about psychographic marketing, just who is this person? Where are they at in life? Where are they looking to accomplish? That's a part of that zeroing in process, is doing this research to understand who specifically do I want to talk to? Am I looking for people in these specific areas? We're looking for, again, this type of person in this demographic, this area, this phase in life. And work with downsizers.
Does anybody have a target market that they can clearly define? Pete, what's your target market? Accredited investor. What's an accredited investor, Pete?
Someone that makes over $300,000 a year in income, has $1 million of net worth, or is a CFP, CPA.
They make over 300,000 in income a year. They have over $1 million in net worth, or they're a certified financial planner or a CPA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
CPA and
like those are different qualifications for an accredited investor. So Pete wants to meet accredited investors, right? So that's really clear. What can you do to help me? Do you know any accredited investors you can introduce me to? That's a very clear target market. Anyone else have a target market they can clearly define? Anybody? Cory, what's your target market? You have a target market.
I do, actually. So
On the investing side, what's your target market?
yeah, so on the investing side, I really like, this is a geographic area. I really like Mechanicsville, right? 37921 zip code in general is actually my favorite zip code to invest in. So if anybody comes across an opportunity in 37921, holler, because I am your buyer for sure. More specifically, I really like Mechanicsville as a neighborhood. That's proved really, really well for me as a student rental niche. So I'm in the process of building my portfolio in that neighborhood for student rentals. That is my
Love that,
target.
right? So that's an example of a target market, right? I could also be looking, so where else is business coming from? Like there's 3 reasons why people move, really clear reasons, right? Divorce, well, there's more. There's 7, I can do this. Divorce, diamonds, death, diapers, deployment. Like those are all reasons why people move. They get married, they downsize. So those are some ways I track people on the real estate side. On the investing side, I'm looking for a tired landlord, right? I'm looking for a motivated seller, either by circumstance. Again, that could be like a probate, someone's passed away, code enforcement, back taxes. Those are all things that could be identifying. It could be a geographic area I'm going after, right? I know that there's certainly opportunities. I'll give you an example. Farragut, there's tons of
Sure.
old neighborhoods in Farragut where you look, those people are going to die in those houses. Concord Hills, that's where I moved when I lived here, right? There's not a lot of turnover, but just if you look at the demographics, like those are people that are living in houses they need to downsize from, that need to be renovated to be ready for the market. Investors are going to do that, or it's going to be like an investment-minded primary buyer. Those are different ways they can do that. So I research and I select that. What's a value proposition, Cory?
Yeah. We'll buy your home for cash. Very simple value proposition. I buy homes cash.
Congratulations. You all
go.
have a value,
Value prop to give.
proposition.
Yep.
Your marketing message is really simple. I buy houses. I use cash. That's really it. Our buddy Matt Thomason, is there another value proposition I'm not thinking of that's really obvious? Matt does mailers and marketing and he's been doing it for a while. We got to sit down with him and visit.
I mean, there's a lot of them, but if you're talking like I can stop the bank from taking your house,
Yeah.
I can hit your timeline. Those are 2 of my big ones.
I love it, right? So those perfect example. I can hit the timeline that you need, right? That's why you might take a cash offer, because you don't think you have the time to do a conventional sale, and I can buy your house in the time that you need me to buy it, or I can stop the bank from taking your house. So then I'm going after pre-foreclosures or something else like that. But what's your value proposition? Why are you going to work with me out of all the investors in the world? Do I need this for every deal? Does every investor have this? No. But if you have clarity, right, you will have much greater results. And we're looking for outsized results, aren't we? Say yes?
Yes.
We want to receive above average investments. That's why you're here.
That's right.
And then I want to build a brand. Anybody in here an investor that feels like they have a brand? Matt, what's your brand?
I have a few of them. I just started a new one today, but as an investor, not really as much. But on the lead generation end, I have that brand.
So you have a brand around the lead generation, because you also, like, out of this, you're another business, right? Doing lead generation for other people. Yeah, perfect example. Anybody else feel like they have a brand as an investor? My friend Haley McLaughlin, I don't think Haley's here today. She's the hiking investor. Check her out on social. It's a great brand. Like it's distinct, and people bring her deals. She talks about it. She talks about it a lot. It's kind of interesting. She's just she's a nurse that happens to be an investor and is picking up investments and has been very kind of deliberate about building an identifiable brand, right? So I want to build a brand. That's how I zero in on my target market. What else am I missing, Cory? Anything else there? Any questions before we move on from Z? I see a lot of like people just staring at us. Everybody's got this lockdown. We're all going to go home and do it. We know exactly how to zero in. We know where we're going to research. We know how to build a brand. Yes? No? Yes, Coogie.
When it comes to brand, what area are you specifically like targeting? Like, is it something you invest into? Like, talk about like brand. Like, I have a candy machine. That's like a vending machine I have
Sure.
that I bought like maybe 2 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I put it in a salon in East Knoxville
I love that.
that I go check on occasionally. So that's one of my first investments. I spent like $60 on it. Got it on Facebook Market. It's a very good candy machine though. So
Candyman.
You see Abby's face?
Yeah, the Candyman.
You can't see it. She just made that. If you're on TikTok at all, she's not a millennial, but made that millennial stank dancing face. Oh, damn. $60 for a candy machine. Yes. I could, now if I wanted to expand that, I could build a brand, right? I could build a brand around that idea of like, that's what I'm doing. If you're looking for an additional revenue stream in your business, like talk to me. Certainly. I would say we got some great people that have great brands in here. Miss Morton, how'd you build your brand? Did you sit down and do the exercise and like define, or is it more intuitive?
So, I mean, obviously it takes time, so this is now year 4 for me. But when building your brand, the answer really is just doing what you love. And like the brand kind of just presents itself and it builds itself, because if you're trying to force your brand, it's not going to feel authentic and you're not going to get the clients that you actually want to come to you. And then you're going to burn out, and then you're going to say, well, real estate didn't work for me. So like if you love to dance, if you love music, like if you love to skateboard, just brand yourself with what you love, and your clients will come to you because they're actually going to want to work with you.
So I'll break this down because I don't want to get too. Branding is a separate exercise from marketing, right? So marketing is that I am spending dollars to reach my target demographic with a clearly defined call to action, right? Branding is an exercise in top of mind differentiation, right? It's why Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus in the red suit, right? So you'll feed your kids syrupy poison that gives them type 2 diabetes. No judgment if you let your kids drink soda, but that's what happens, right? So
Santa's not real, dude?
Santa is the spirit of giving without an expectation of receiving credit, Cory.
Okay, well,
And we believe in my house. So when I talk about a brand, just meaning that if I'm going to go have an idea of how I'm going to portray myself on social media, like having a brand does a lot of things. It's a whole separate conversation. We could do some branding things, but it'll do things like making my marketing pieces maybe appear consistent. So someone knows they're hearing from me multiple times, right? So I'm building some sort of like a repeated presence from them, or maybe they pay attention to break through it. Or like on social, just as a way of kind of differentiating myself, like to my target audience, are clearly communicating who I am and what I'm about, right? Because I am a person trying to reach another person. I'm not faceless. This is a deeply relational personal business if you're going to be in real estate investing. You are going to be working heavily with people. If you don't love people, then get good partners. Because they're going to have to deal with, someone's going to have to
Somebody's gonna
deal
have to do it.
with the people part of this. And the people part of this is why realtors earn the compensation they do, because it takes a lot of time.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt. Abby?
I was going to say, well, a good example between you and I, other than real estate, we also bonded over our sobriety.
Yeah.
So that like happens a lot too with your clients. Like if you're talking about the things over and over again online, not just real estate, they will connect with you on that too, and then they'll think of you when they're drinking their 0 beer or they're
Or
drinking
they're Dutch Bros, because Abby's branded Dutch Bros to her. Topo Chico, if you're watching, I want a brand deal. I love Topo Chico. I don't think you understand how much I love spicy water. So anyways, I don't want to belabor that too much, but just thinking about that, what is my value proposition? How do I clearly communicate that? Like that will differentiate myself from other investors, because I want to win. I sat with an investor today. This gentleman's from Iraq. He spent some time working in Turkey for the UN, and he told me a story about buying his building on Kingston Pike today, and then he wrote a letter to the owner, who happened to be Turkish, about his time in Turkey and what he loved about Turkey. And the guy came back to him and said, I appreciate so much what you did in my country. I have other offers, but if you're serious about this, I'll give you a $150,000 discount. Like, this is happening all around us. Bought this building in 2021. Like, this stuff matters. This stuff matters. All right, so that is how I zero in on my target market. I want to have some idea of a niche of what I'm looking for. If you're a new investor, what you're probably looking for is a distressed seller, right? They got a property, it's all overgrown, they can't keep up with it. Like, that is a very general target market that we could all use. Does that make sense to everybody? Would you agree? Anybody disagree as an investor? Cool. And my value proposition is, hey, I can buy your house for cash, I can do it quickly, right? And I can do it with terms and timeline you'd agree. That's
Simple
it.
enough.
Yep.
Works because it works.
Own the mind share of your market.
That's right.
This is what we specialize in. We want to own the mind share. When you think of agents that invest in Knoxville, we want you to think of us, right? Are we doing an okay job? Right? You're all here?
Thank you.
Yeah, like, how do I own the mind share, right? It's heart share leads to mind share, leads to market share. That's the philosophy I have there, is people don't care unless they know that you care. But practically, how do we own the mind share of that market? Like, if I'm going to try to go lock down deals in Mechanicsville.
That's right.
So where do I start, Cory?
Yeah. So, I mean, it inevitably just starts with prospecting. It starts with so
let's break this down really simple. What is prospecting?
Yeah. So prospecting would just be an outbound reach out or an inquiry to basically turning over the rock to see if there's an opportunity there.
Yep. So outbound, an outbound reach out, meaning like I'm inbound is I'm doing some sort of like marketing as an inbound, right? People are calling my phone number. Prospecting is I am calling, I am door knocking, right? I am sending out a letter, but I am doing an outbound activity to prospect for business.
That's right.
Okay. So why do I start with prospecting?
Typically, it's the lowest cost.
Yep.
Starting first and foremost. I mean, specifically, like, you can pick up the phone, you can call. I mean, everybody's pretty much got a cell phone. I'd say 99.9% of people out there are going to have a cell phone. So you already have the tool there. Calling is probably the most efficient way to scale and connect with a mass amount of people in a relatively short amount of time. You could also go door knock, right? You could go door to door and just knock and talk to people. Again, it's just your time. There's no cost to it aside from you just going out and knocking on doors for people. The reason why phone works is because it's more scalable and quicker. In the time it might take for you to go knock the 100 doors, it might take you 5 to 8 hours to knock that many doors, right? I could call that many phones in an hour, right? You can dial 100 phone numbers in an hour. What's up, Will?
Will's got a question. Speaking of prospecting, what's your question, comment?
Who am I calling and where do I get the numbers?
Good question.
I
Good
love
question.
that.
So,
If you don't know Will, you should know Will. Will started on a team we ran as an inside sales agent.
Correct.
Will knows all about prospecting.
All day long.
Yeah.
Master of it. Great guy.
put that down on the phone for hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Cory, where do I get the phone numbers?
Yeah. So there's always just a good old-fashioned phone book. I mean, it's there. It still is printed. It still works, right? There are some resources out there, though, that would be available. Obviously, you want to be cross-referencing like a do not call list to make sure that you're reaching out to people in a TCEPA compliant manner. There's going to be some websites like truepeoplesearch.com is a spookily accurate website. You can go punch in an address, a name, a phone number to cross-reference, and it will pull up, say, an address, for example, 123 Main Street. You can pull that up, and it will give you nearly every person associated with that address, right?
Yep.
So the internet's a pretty powerful tool. So there are some.
You could use a dialer.
There's a dialer system
right?
or there's software programs out there.
I could use a dialer system and a dialer system like Vulcan X or Mojo dialer or Espresso dialer, right?
Yeah.
Batch leads, so there's third-party services out there. I want to find one that'll scrub against the do not call list for me, because those fines are really hefty. And who's sick of getting robocalls, right? My girlfriend buying a house, we counted 80 calls in one day. Her phone melted. Like, don't be those people, right? So I can scrub against the do not call list. Yes.
So if you're not calling as an agent or like to a company,
Does the do not call list apply? This is where I'm going to say Cory and I are trust but verify, right? Because I can tell you this. I would say if you're calling and you're making a commercial solicitation, the do not call list definitely applies. Whether or not you're going to run afoul of it, or you're going to find a whole room full of mavericks that are going to probably tell you privately how to break rules. But from the stage, I'm going to tell you the do not call list definitely applies. If you want to get around the do not call list, like there's some, when I call on behalf of a nonprofit to invite you to a charity event that I'm doing, the do not call list does not apply. I can call anybody in the phone book on behalf of a nonprofit.
Yep.
So there's some interesting ways, if I have a business and I have a brand to engage the community, if you're reaching out to one person individually about their house on 123 Main Street, I don't, I've called those people too, and it's not, if I'm calling an entire neighborhood of people, like it just be aware, like there are attorneys actively hunting people that are harassed, like looking for class action fines. I haven't seen them go after wholesalers yet, but
Sure.
who knows? I saw a hand go up. Okay. So where can I find that list? I can use a third-party service like Batch Leads.
That's right.
I can use a dialer service, right? I can buy that list elsewhere. And then you asked, how am I calling those? I think was the other one. Like, who am I calling? How am I get the phone numbers? So I think we answered both those questions. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you could drive around, right? Drive for dollars, look for homes that look overgrown, beat up, and otherwise disrepair. Write down the address. I keep a notebook in my car for that very reason, because I'm driving all around town, see something that looks a little off. Yeah, put an address, look it up, give them a call, put something in the mail, send them a letter.
Yeah.
See what happens. It's just kind of fishing.
So I want to start with prospecting. I want to talk to neighbors. What do you know? What do you know about those? Those are easy ways to do it. So that's me now. I've started with prospecting. I identified some opportunities. Now I'm building through networking, and that can look one of two ways. It can look networking like this. It can also work like networking within the community. Cory is very good at doing this, right? You talk to all the neighbors when you go on listing appointments, when you go look at houses, right?
That's right. Yep. Go out and go talk to all the neighbors like around a house. If I've got a listing, I'm going to go door knock and talk to everybody like right around it, because typically we know that when one home sells in a neighborhood, there's going to be 2 or 3 more that are going to. So why not just go out and talk to somebody and network, see what opportunities are there. You can leave a lasting impression that might not hit right now. A year later, that person calls you.
Again, so like what is networking, again, is a low-cost activity, right? It's just an exchange of time. But I want to start with prospecting, because the difference is how many people have networked with no results? Pete's raising his hand, right? Because just me going out and meeting people doesn't mean that I'm identifying motivated people that are relevant to my niche. I've got to start with that, because if I'm not willing to do that, none of the rest is gonna matter. If you're not willing to walk across the room and ask the girl to dance, nothing else matters. You got to figure out how to get the courage to go do that and get belly to belly with somebody, because you're going to have to conduct a transaction with this person, right? So I multiply that with marketing, build it to networking, and then I multiply with marketing. What does that mean, Cory?
Yeah. So really, that's when money comes into play. Now you actually you started off on the right foot. You've done some of these lower cost activities that will still generate results, but that's why we suggest it in this order. Is to start with what's cheap or free, and build to where then you can, as you are now building a brand, because now you're through these other activities, you're putting your brand out there. You can multiply that impact through marketing by putting some money behind that.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Anybody have any questions? Pete, yes.
Pete.
Yeah. For people that do like social media marketing for your brand, who in the room thinks that they've done it really well?
Who thinks in the room that they've done social media marketing for their brand really well?
Amy has. Hey, raise your hand.
Phil
proud of
says
it.
no. Amy says yes.
Absolutely
Amy
you
says
have.
yes. I asked a, after if you grab me, I asked a friend to be in the room that's got over 100,000 followers on Instagram, right? So we can have a private chat. Like there's some people. Amy thinks she's done it well. Amy, you think you've done a good job with your brand?
I think so. I definitely.
Come over here. Yep. Amy is not shy, by the way, at all. She's done print and photography and danced in public, and seen you host things. So come on up, Amy. This is my friend Amy Lee Lucas. Amy is another agent. Amy's got 13,000 followers on social. So there's a lot more. Usually I see like 3, 4 is doing pretty good locally here. So I think Amy's got significantly more. Like, what do you think you've done? What did you want to know, Pete?
How did you start, and what have you done correctly?
How did you start, and what have you done, you think, correctly?
Wow, this is tough up here. I give you guys a lot of props. Social media has changed my business in a really great way. I can prospect and I can lead gen, and I know what videos do really well. I was telling Justin yesterday that I had one on ADUs, and ADUs is very specific.
What's an ADU?
Additional dwelling units, they are really not popular here, not yet. There are reasons for zoning, and we don't want people to, you tell me.
No. So ADUs, accessory dwelling units, are approved everywhere in the city of Knoxville unless they're specifically prohibited by an overlay with the last recode. So if you've got a structure, you can build another property on the structure as long as it's a primary residence. You can build an accessory dwelling unit. We can go talk about the code limitations. Generally speaking, there's like footprint limitations that are proportional to the size of the original structure. But anyways, like, I know all this. I have done no videos really publicly talking about this. Amy did, and Amy's got a great anecdote because she actually talked about this.
And it turned into a home. She was from California. I'm from California too, from San Francisco specifically, where we have a lot. We don't even have side yards, front yards, backyards. We can take one single family home. Every room is rented out. The lower is also an additional family or dwelling unit. And so hence we have a lot of congestion, and it'll be like 6 people to one home, and it creates a lot of parking. It creates a lot of just bad things. So when she said, hey, I talked to a lot of realtors, they're not excited about my ADU. It's super special. You cannot build one in 37934. She found me, and it was like, just come here and sign the listing agreement, and it turns into more and more. I could do one video, and Abby knows this too, and some people who are in the luxury space, they're more private. They don't want to put their house up there. They don't want just looky-loos coming through. One home that maybe is listed at $900 will get me a $1.2 million home, will turn into a $3 million listing, and I think those are special. I mean, I would love to always have luxury listings, but we know the median home price here, and the demographic and the people who can afford to buy that become very, very, very small. And so the messaging is super important.
So when you started trying to develop a brand and marketing on social media, did you sit down and like have a consultation and decide like the pillars of your brand, and like did you have all that kind of clearly, or is it just kind of like just talking about things that were important to you, or was it, hey, I want to present myself in such a way, right? Like, so I'm, like, let's think like if I'm just getting started, like where do I start, like right now?
These are all, okay, I have a lot of answers. Number one, going back on Abby said, like, do things that you guys are passionate and love to do. I love to dance. I love to go salsa dancing. It's a huge, source of business for me too. There are contractors, handymen in there. There are people that want to invest in there in that space. I have one person who shouts me out. I get one person who's a fan of me. Everyone in the room becomes a fan of me. It's amazing. When people say you need to build fanatics, don't have them become your fan. You want to become someone else's fan, and that's the number one thing for networking. I think a lot of people sell themselves and what they do, and really you need to be like, Justin, what are your goals? What do you want to do? In my head, I'm thinking about, you want to, own the jets? Let me think about all the people that can lead you down that path. Then I have built something much stronger, and I've built a relationship. Like, Cory, you want to do UT student rentals? I have one at the fort right now, 4-bedroom. I have commercial space. I have people that give me estates. The people that buy those estates are like my photographer. He comes in, he's like, hey, how much do you think this would be if I flipped it? He purchases it, and I don't even have to put it on the market.
So here's what's difficult is, and I put Amy on the spot. Amy is unusually good at this, right? In terms of presentation, in terms of, I encourage you to go watch her videos. She dresses amazing. She is one of the most kind and genuine people I know in Knoxville. Like, I salsa dance. Amy's been like just wonderful in that space too. So the way she shows up there, like, it's almost like a master class on how to brand, right? And I don't think it's been as much like intentional of like, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to expand to here. And that's led to you being in front of the camera, right? And you've been a dancer before, right? So you have like lots of those opportunities. If you are looking to do this, I'll give you like a really easy example. Who watches HGTV? No, that's it. The rest of you don't watch HGTV? Put your hand up, Justin. You're like, who watches HGTV? This is relevant to what we're talking about. How often do you go out in public and you see HGTV on, like in a doctor's office or something? Yes? Right? We're in the back. They made it, a ton of it here, right? People are interested in what you are doing. Like, luckily, you're not trying to build, like, to invest in something that no one is interested. No one's interested in you buying dental offices. People are interested in you buying houses and renovating houses and being a realtor. When my girl, I want to be real. I was like show house, like, right? There's some sort of glamour or something interesting about that. So just start showing people what you are doing. If that's what I would do, Pete, in terms of like social media and branding, it would be that. The rest of it would be like, going a little deeper and kind of showing people who you are. Like I worked for somebody. Thank you, Amy. I won't keep you up here.
If you guys are first timers, I would just encourage you to document everything. I know your life may seem mundane to you, but I document everything. And then when it comes to creating content, I don't want to create it organically because it takes a lot of work. I work with my clients, and maybe you're the investor and I'm creating content for you.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, what are 3 really important things about this property that you want me to convey? The last thing I want is to invest in marketing, and I go there and I completely miss the messaging. So they're doing the homework for me. So I hope that helps you guys.
Thank you. And get with Amy afterwards.
Thank
If you
you,
have more
Amy.
specific questions, I realized like you want to see what she's doing. It would make some more sense. On that, Abby, yes.
Keep it super simple. For those who like aren't on social media yet,
Hey, Abby, can you come up here? Because I know you love being in front of crowds.
I know, and I don't. It is weird on a microphone though.
You got this.
Hi, I'm Abby Morton. I'm a realtor in the Smoky Mountains. For those of you who are not on social media yet, what I always tell everybody is to just start posting, because no one's going to remember when you sucked anyways, because no one's following you. So when I first started on, I'm being serious. So when I first started on Instagram, my team was called Homes for You. It was just me and my husband. Our logo was on Canva, a home with two hands like this. Okay, hideous. Our colors did not match. None of you all probably even remember that. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, your social media is so great. And I'm like, well, I've been doing it now for 3 years and I've literally done it all myself. So I have just learned along the way. And none of you in this room remember when all my stuff was super cringy.
Come up here for a second. Remember I forgot about this story. So I'm sitting here, I'm at church, and one of my friends I started doing videos. I started going, all my open houses, I just went live on Facebook. And I went live on Facebook because when I was trying to record videos, I was like obsessing. I do it like 6 times, and then all of a sudden I don't like the way my voice sounds and the way my face looks. It's ridiculous. So I was like, this is driving me insane, right? And so I was like, I'm just going to go live and just press publish. And so I'm sitting there, one of my friends turns to my other, he goes, hey, Josh, do you watch Justin's videos? They're great. And Josh goes, no, I don't. What are they about? He goes, oh, I don't know. I don't watch them. You get that? Like, that's exactly, and I was like, they're not actually watching the entire video. No one cares that much about you. Go research the spotlight effect. Like, no one is paying that much attention to you. No one notices there's a stain on your shirt, right? They're thinking about their shoes that don't fit, or their sick kid, or whatever. Like, they're scrolling in the bath. Like, they're not paying that much attention, right? But Abby's built, like, a really great brand. Like, and the marketing has been, and like has developed into like some really, now you got professional marketing, and right? But when you were building the brand, did you just started doing it?
Yeah, I just started doing it. Like I said, I just posted what I was doing, creating, kind of testing things out. Some flopped, but no one knew that they flopped. So.
Yeah, but like the best thing about you is your energy.
Right. So people liked what they saw on screen, right? So as long as you show up yourself, don't show up, like slouched like this and like, oh, I hate my life. I mean, like, unless it matches the vibe, right? Like, because you can also relate to me when I'm like, I'm a little nervous getting on stage. You're probably like, oh.
Yeah. But I've seen you, share everything. I've seen your fitness journey. I've seen you renovating your house.
Right.
Right. talking about being a mama from Av.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. And people relate to that stuff, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The personal stuff is what people respond to the most often.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just being very, very transparent. So this is now year 4 for me and my husband. We still live in a house that up until literally now, we've not even had the funds to finish renovating it, but yet we still were able to work with clients and sell $35.5 million in real estate last year. We didn't have the fancy cars, we didn't have the fancy houses, but we built a brand and we brought value to our clients through not only social media, but also
And you went on
our
the journey when
education.
you were down to one car because the engine problems on the one car, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then now you just bought the new car. But like, that's the journey. You can talk about the new car we just got
Correct. Yeah.
because like I shared when we had one car, we were sharing one car with the family.
Correct. Yep. A year and
Like
a
it's-
half. Yeah. Yeah.
I can take people on that journey and they celebrate it with me, right? They're not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marketing can change your life, but it's just being consistent, showing up every day. Things that other marketing companies and stuff are going to tell you, and I'm just going to debunk all of them because I don't follow any of the social media rules. I've not Googled when I should post, how many I should post. I post as many times I want in a day. No one's going to tell me I can only post one because the algorithm's going to mess it up. To be super honest with you guys, it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, as long as you're posting, you're going to be showing up in people's faces. And so I think it's just all complicated. And so instead of just jumping in, we're just like, well, it needs to be perfect and we need to follow all these rules. But what I've done from the very beginning is just post. Just post whatever you want to post. And eventually it's all going to work out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. Grab Abby afterwards. Like we've stacked the room with some people. Grab us afterwards that are experts in all of these. I'm going to give you some really simple rules if you're marketing, okay? Every marketing thing I should do needs to have a clear call to action. If you want to think about what you're doing, think about a lost dog poster, right? It's got some description of the dog. It's got a phone number. Maybe it's got a reward or an incentive. That is it. That's what you need. It needs to be that clear. If you have super clear stuff and I can't tell what you're selling, it is a waste of time. Does that make sense? If you got the prettiest, like it's not about the aesthetics of this. It is I buy houses cash, that ugly dumb caveman, right? Like with the little bandit signs. Like, so every piece of marketing I do should have a clear call to action. If I read this and I don't know what you want to do as a result of this piece of marketing, it is not a good piece of marketing. My marketers agree, right? Branding can be different. Branding is there's lots of whole different concept. We're not even talking about it today. We can have a separate conversation on branding and marketing. I'm going to cut myself off there, but I think that's one, right?
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to prospecting, do you have some tips? Cory is a master prospector. Cory and I built our whole relationship over talking about prospecting because I also, like Will, started my career as an inside sales agent.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to share some insight into prospecting. So, one of the biggest things I made sure to focus on when I'm on the phone with somebody, when somebody picks up the phone, is tonality. How your voice conveys to the other person is going to be really impactful in that conversation because we all get spam phone calls, we all get calls we don't necessarily like, and because so much of our communication as people is nonverbal, right? It's not always even like the words we say, it's body language, it's eye contact.
What is it? Less than 10% of our communication is the words we're using?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that, right, if I'm getting somebody on the phone, if I'm doing like phone prospecting specifically, your tonality, your rate of speech, your ability to what we call mirror and match that person quickly is what's going to help you get further into the conversation beyond the initial 10 seconds and then click.
And you practice this?
Yes.
You watched videos that talked about
Yeah.
this? You'd watch
Yeah.
Ricky Carruth, right?
Yeah, I'd
And
watch, I mean, agents like Ricky Carruth, who's an agent down in Orange Beach, Alabama. Paul Campanero, who's agent
Pauly C.
Pauly C.
Love you,
was
Pauly
a-
C.
Agent out in Vegas during the crash, and then he's now running a team in Austin, Texas. I was getting on Zoom calls with those guys and just practicing this every day, and doing like outbound reach out. And what I recognize too is my ability to mirror and match people, have good tonality on that was critical for that. Not being awkward or sounding weird. Like you have to kind of shake those things out.
It is a learned skill.
For sure.
It is unnatural. You're gonna have to overcome your own internal. I don't like to get
Yeah, I
called
don't
on the
wanna do this.
phone.
That phone is
Now I'm calling
1,000
people and
pounds.
bothering them on the phone, right? I've got to work through that, right? Because my goals are bigger than my discomfort. And I highly recommend affirmations. I was a very unsuccessful salesperson for many, many years. If you want to talk about how to be broke in sales, come talk to me. Because I've always been this smart, and I didn't make any damn money. I would, my friends that were much better, what he talks about, I'd help them structure their deals, and like try to make money that way. I could not figure out how to sell to a stranger, right? Because I didn't want to be a salesperson, so then I was not a good salesperson. That is the honest truth. Like, this is a learned skill that I can practice. I highly recommend affirmations because I guarantee if you get in the practice of saying affirmations out loud, that will be the most awkward part of your day. 100%. Calling a stranger is way less strange than saying affirmations out loud. Yes, right, Travis? Once I do those, the affirmations we say, we say,
I'm alive, excited, and full of energy.
Conversations
make me money. My team knows it.
I listen for motivation. I always ask great questions.
People need my help.
My service changes lives.
Amazing real estate deals flow to me easily and abundantly.
Right?
If I can get up and say that out loud in an office in front of a bunch of people, or on stage in front of a bunch of people here, getting on the phone to make a phone call to somebody is nothing.
But also when I think about those are all things that are in alignment with my value.
1,000%.
I do listen for motivation, right?
I always
People
ask great
do need my
questions.
help. That's why I'm calling on the phone. You reach out to people that need your help. You're a problem solver. We have a whole other class about how to identify these motivated sellers and negotiate with them. But in terms of marketing, prospecting, that is just, you are a business. You are running an independent small business as an investor. Each property you buy has its own profit and loss statement, right? There is a client acquisition cost for your business, which is no different than any other business. So then I've got to go engage in these activities, right? And if I want to change, I want to be a professional at these things, I've got to invest time and effort. Like I can gain expertise in these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool.
Talk to
Boom.
prospecting.
Oh, there's FISBOs, True People Search, boom, boom. Oh, that's a great one. Making offers on listed property.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can. Call the agent directly. Make an offer. There's probably on the MLS. They
Make
want to be sold for a reason.
Make lowball offers on stuff on the MLS. If you don't buy stuff on the MLS, high five. It's more for us. There's bad agents out there that don't know how to market property, and we go buy stuff from them all the time.
A vast majority of my portfolio has
Thank
come from
you
the MLS.
for not buying stuff on the MLS. I love it. Work harder. Work harder. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to participate, right, we do outbound prospecting on Tuesdays. That is an open invite for anybody who wants to come prospect with us. This is our Take Territory Tuesdays.
You can say some affirmations.
That's right. You can get up and get weird, yell some affirmations with us,
Ooh,
do some reach outs.
I don't think anybody in the room has come. Who's come? Jay's come. Jay's come for
with
Take
us.
Territory Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good time. It's an open invite. If you're interested in checking it out, come have a
We'll
holler
even give
afterwards.
you people to call.
That's right.
We'll pull a list for you. All right. Networking.
This is you, Maine.
Yes. Okay. So what am I doing in networking? There is a law of reciprocity here, right? So here is our goal. Here's my secret, right? I want to be the most liked and the most competent agent in Knoxville. And how do I do that? I am in a competition to how can I provide more value than anybody else. So when I go out, and I've been very successful in doing this, it's weird to talk about this, but the actuality is I'm one of the best in the country at networking. Like, I've seen it enough times, I've done it in enough places, moved to another country where it's like, another company where it's like, oh, if I go in the room, I am very good at building a relationship with the person on stage and the decision makers and the executives in an organization, right? So that's a whole separate thing there. Like, so for me, it's here's an easy way to play this game. Like, if you want to level up in networking, like, no one cares about the dumb thing that you do. I don't. I get really bored. Like, oh, tell me all about how you sell life. I don't care about life insurance. I don't want to talk about it, honestly. No offense to anyone selling life insurance. Right? That's not what I'm here. I'm not that interested in having that conversation. I'm interested in you, right? I'm interested in what you want to accomplish. Like, then maybe I might listen to life insurance. But I'm not interested. Like, would you agree, Cory, if we go someplace and it's like a whole business conversation and it's like, we can exchange deals and maybe I'll send you some and you can send me some?
Yeah, no, I'd rather get real with the person. I'd rather know. like,
Absolutely,
yeah,
right?
What's their background?
Relationships trump everything else.
Everything.
So that's what I know is relationships trump everything else. So there's a couple easy questions I'm going to give you that'll differentiate you from your competition. How can I help you? What are you trying to accomplish? Right? Ask the executives that. Ask people on stage that. I promise you, no one else asked them that. I have built relationships solely based off the fact that I walk up to people that are much more successful and powerful than me, and I ask them how I can help them. Now, you got to back that up. So I ask everyone that, and I have a Rolodex in my head of what people do. And one of my talents is I'm good at thinking about like, oh, so Cory does that, and if I was doing that, then I would need to know this person and this person. Like Amy said, who do I need to introduce you to on the path to get you to the Jets? Like, but playing that game is really interesting. So let's say I'm not good at that. Here's what you do. You ask everyone, hey, Scott, what do you want to accomplish? Scott is a new agent. He's in Maryville. He was a software developer before. Come talk to Scott. He wants to invest as well. He's looking for some business. So Scott is a brand new agent. So is Coogie. So is, there's another Tyler. Tyler, you're a new agent in here. So I start asking, what do you want to accomplish? And I have a list in my head. And then I can start matching those people up. Does that make sense? Oh, man, I just met Frankie. Frankie's a contractor. You're an agent. You should know it. Do you know any good contractors? Let me introduce you. Right? Now I have added value immediately. Right? And the law of reciprocity says when I do something for some people, right, they want to do things for me. The other thing that's really interesting is when I ask for favors on behalf of somebody else, dude, everything unlocks. And if people don't want to play that game, I don't want them in my world. Period. I don't want them. They're not in the room here. There's other investment groups they can go to. Like if you're not willing to show up and participate and be part of a community, I don't want you around. This tracks. Like Navy SEALs would rather work with low performers with high levels of trust than high performers with low levels of trust, right? Trust is more important than any of that stuff. Like it's who we want to be around, how we spend time. So if I ask Cory, hey Cory, I know you're really great at prospecting. Would you mind like help Coogie's? I just met him, but I know, oh, you want to learn how to prospect? Come here. Hey Cory, would you mind spending some time with him? Would you have coffee with him?
1,000%.
Rinse, repeat. Done that all over the country. Built an entire national network. Greg asked me to be a director of expansion for him. Just basically playing that game because I was working as young professionals of just like, hey, would you come do this thing for somebody else? Would you add value? Right? And I know it's true. I see Justin nodding. Justin's a public adjuster. Hey, Justin, I just met some people. They don't really understand this. Would you mind coming and like talking to this real estate team and kind of explaining how insurance claims work? You'd be like, yeah, sure, thanks, yeah. Oh, I'm important enough? Like you're asking me, you're acknowledging my value. Like that's a simple way to do this when I'm looking at networking, right? And what it really is you got to care about people. Like you got to genuinely believe this is an affirmation that I say. I give everywhere I go, even if it's a smile, a compliment, or my full attention. Listening is the best gift I can give to other people, right? Because when you talk about your brand, really your brand is, why am I doing this? I'm doing this so I can buy Dutch Bros and I can go on Disney vacation. Like, but why am I doing this? Like, what's important about this to me? Like, I love impact. Cory and I love impact. We skipped all this stuff. We skipped like becoming super rich, then we can kick back and now we can do what we want to do. We just do what we want to do now. We like educating, we like connecting people. It's a lot of fun. That's one thing we do share in common. We both get really excited about like, I met this person and like, what's the story today? Like, because it's so simple to change the lives of other people. And the people that you're looking to meet as you go on this investing journey are all people that are facing some kind of a problem, right? They're in financial trouble. Someone died, they have this property. They're getting a divorce. Like things went sideways. The tenant screwed them, right? Empathy is a superpower and a secret weapon. So when I'm networking, like the one thing you want to make clear though is how can you be repaid? And I have failed at this for many, many, many years of like doing things but not having any funnel where this comes back, right? So I want to be clear, like, hey, I'm a realtor, I'm out networking. Hey, I love your Knoxville referrals. Hey, think of me for your Mechanicsville, right? Your Mechanicsville student rentals. Like make it very clear, like how people can repay you in return when you're doing things for them. So the way to become a super connector, I call it fiduciary friendship. I've got to go meet Carolyn, and then I have to ask enough questions about like, hey, Carolyn, who are you? What do you want to accomplish? Oh, you're a new agent. Cool. That's really interesting. Not my competition, right? We're collaborating. You know, you're another investor. Awesome. What do you like to invest in? Maybe they got stuff I don't invest in. Maybe we are a competition. That's fine. We can still be friends, right? Oh, you're a designer. Great. How can I help you? And when I ask enough questions about, and how can I do that if I'm awkward? I don't know how to do this. Ask people what they're working on and let them answer, right? Anybody have something they're working on they want to share with the group? Travis, what are you working on?
I'm working on finding a lot that I can build a duplex on.
Yes. Please, 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 please.
We need a
Please,
lot.
like for a client, for Vinchelle that comes here, that's brought her daughter here. She needs a lot to build a duplex on so she can live there. Like, pretty please. Like, we need to make this happen. Yes. Anywhere in Knoxville area, that'd be fantastic. Cookie, what are you working on?
Not really working on it specifically, but like you talked about, adding value. I want to eventually get into like investing, like building on property into like flips and stuff like that. So that's something I want to get into. So
Well, it sounds like you're working on investing, like getting to investing. You're going to be flipping? Okay.
people here, maybe I can connect with you. That's like, it's about adding value. Something I'm trying to work on, getting to know more about like flips and stuff like that.
So, a couple of things. People need to know that I'm an investor. First and foremost, like if I'm at the most basic, like go update your freaking Instagram profile, guys, and put the word investor in there. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But that's what we recommend, right? Take some action. Attend other investor meetups and talk to other people. Ask them what they're looking to accomplish. Take a sincere interest in them. There's a gentleman that reached out to me where he's always doing a lot of stuff. He was really, I was always impressed. Like I see him online, reached out to him. We talked about working together, not local. And then I invited him to Grid and he told me that I check on him more than his friends do. Right? He said, you, Cory, have the same experience? Mm-hmm. Like he said, hey, man, dude, what can we do? How can I help you? You reach out to me more than my friends do. And I'm not sharing that. There's nothing special about me. Like I'd say 75% of those reach outs were like invites to Grid and stuff. The first reach out was deliberate, intentional, right? And I really did care about what he was looking to do. The rest of them were lots of just like, you've received the same sort of messages. But that's how low the bar is. That's how starved we all are for a connection. I just want to point that out there. Like that will take you places that money never will. And I would say, would you agree, Cory? Like, it has opened doors for us. Where, like, when we went to go to our real estate company, the CEO of EXP flew to close Cory and I. And we do not have the production to warrant that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the CEO came there and the COO, they flew in to close both of us, which was really bizarre and
Crazy.
Cool. And,
Yeah.
right? There are 90,000 people at that company. That is a wild thing that has happened just over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then I got to go add value. Does that make sense? Like, so if I'm asking people what they do, now I've got a reason, right? Oh, these guys are some new mortgage brokers. Okay, what agent's going to introduce them to? Dina's looking for multifamily and like up to like $1 million. So who does she need to meet, right? Simple stuff. Like, y'all are not sitting here because we're experts. We just started doing this thing, and then we kept talking about it, right? When we were just streaming it on a freaking cell phone, and there was 12 people in the room, like we just continued to talk about it and kind of act as if. And like it grows into, you achieve what you can believe. I don't know if there's any questions about networking. Like but that really is, like, most people are not doing that. I promise you, whether it's awkwardness or something else, they're not sincerely asking other people how they can help them. I also like to ask people, what are you most excited about right now? Because that will tell you a lot about them as a person. Are they open? Are they naturally closed? Do they feel like their interests aren't that important? You're probably excited about like watching Netflix or, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? Like most of us, none of us are living that. Certainly since I got sober, my life is not that exciting. There's nothing that noteworthy that's happening anymore. Cory, what do you think about network? Here's what's interesting. Cory, I would say, is very much an introvert in some ways.
Sure.
Well, you're kind of naturally a shy guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like very much.
Yeah, naturally, I would say I'm not the most, I'm not you in the sense of I wouldn't immediately go up to the person to start like asking that. I would say I shine better either one-on-one or smaller group settings when it comes to my ability to speak or convey ideas.
Yeah, like as soon as the camera's off and you're right here,
Yeah,
like
then game
Cory, ask Cory to give you a script, and Cory will just like Rain Man rattle off
Sure.
like
Yeah.
could tell you every detail of the fishing story of how he got the guy on the. It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true for sure.
And so you kind of push through to be up here on
Yeah,
stage
yeah,
because
for
this
sure.
is important to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my
Yeah.
my history in restaurant management and ownership, like it was that journey of getting into management, eventually becoming an owner operator, is what forced me out of my shell, right? Because before that, I was just back of house. I was in the kitchens. I was totally cool with not being out in front on stage, as it were, in front of the staff or customers, everything like that. Bad on me on that end because cooks don't make any money. Servers and bartenders make all the cash in that world. But I was forced into it by going on that journey is what forced me to getting out and becoming a connector in my community, actually, right? Like as I became a manager, as I then became, threw my life savings into it and bought an ownership in the company, forced me to then be out in front of people, forced me to be a connector in the community where you start to have to know, here's all the principals at all the schools around here. Here's all the soccer coaches and baseball coaches that all the families come to our restaurant after games on Saturdays. So that's what forced me out of my shell. But it's not something that comes naturally to me. It was definitely kind of forced upon, right? Or I had to learn that skill.
Yeah, because I would say I still get, depending on the networking event, I still get really tired. Like when I'm doing things and I feel like I'm in service of somebody or it's something really interesting, I find it really energizing. When I am having, I don't know, like small talk conversations, I feel like I'm dying inside still, and I am one of the most talkative people you'll meet, right? I can talk for 8 hours straight, but I want to talk about interesting things that are interesting, and I want to have real and genuine conversations, which can be a challenge here, right? Because culturally, this is a place where we're polite, but we're not always open. Very polite. I think people are very kind here, but not always necessarily open, and being open is almost like you're not obeying some societal rules, right? And so also I am willing to, the reason I connect people is I am willing to share almost everything about myself. You don't have to have that. Like that's my weird thing. But I would just share that of connecting with purpose. What this really did though is, and the reason why this happened is I was running a young professionals group here locally. So then Abby Morton in the room took this thing over. So I'm 38 when I start this thing. Accidentally, I am certainly not a young professional. The beard's not quite so white. I'm 42 now, but like it's weird that I'm doing this. But I was like, well, how can I generate opportunity for these other people? So that's why I was asking. It's not like I'm like this special person, but I was like, I had a reason to go be selfless, but like aggressively self. You know what I mean? I got a reason to go talk to the person on stage and be like, well, Coogie, they're in the room. Like, would you mind coming and like, you're killing it. And I know because of the culture, you would want to come talk to them. Would you mind coming and talking to these new agents? And they said yes. And people flew from all over the country here for free. And we threw a real estate conference. We raised $13,000 for a homeless youth year. Like somebody flew in, gave us a $10,000 check. Like I've seen it happen. We started a nonprofit. We've raised over $40,000 for meals. And what happens is like Dina, thank you so much. Like her husband Mo gave us that stadium tour. Like, and then we turned that into an opportunity to raise money for Second Harvest. It's just dream bigger. Like this is a vehicle to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And you can start doing it right now, and it actually becomes a lot easier. Mm-hmm. That's what I would just share about networking. Like, if you take it a step farther, you become a category of one. And so what we found is like, I can invite everybody up here. I can tell you what an amazing agent Amy is, and Abby is, and everybody else, right? Because we're the guys with the microphones. Like like it's okay. Like when you make the platform bigger, and when I go network to try to help other people, I don't know, some magical things happen. The universe rewards.
It's pretty incredible.
Giving it away. I guess that would be, I don't know if that makes sense, but I've just seen it do remarkable things, and then be clear on what you're looking for. It's my last tip. When you come here and we ask you and you get an opportunity to talk in front of everybody, have something clear that you're asking for. If you're an agent, don't ask for the same thing as everyone else. I'm looking for, right? I got this house in the fort to sell. I'm looking for a Mechanicsville property. I need to find a duplex lot. Like have something specific that you're asking people to help you with. When you have a specific dream, people can plug into a specific dream. I want to sing the national anthem in a UT game. We could make, someone could make that happen.
Yeah.
If I met somebody that wanted to do that, I just want to be famous. Good luck. I hope you make it. I'm never thinking of that person again. I certainly am not thinking of that person when I meet somebody that oh my God, I was at a Christmas party and this person books the UT national anthem singers, right? Like when I have a specific ask, I can be rewarded for it. So
Yeah.
be specific in what I'm asking for.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge for sure.
All right. Marketing, postcards, door hangers, websites, Matt Thomason, do you have some insight here? You mind jumping up here and can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Matt, how long have you been a marketer for?
8 years.
Okay.
8 years.
Okay. And how many deals do you think you found for yourself through marketing?
A few hundred. The camera, there it is.
Yeah, so a few hundred.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the reason I have Matt here is I don't know anyone else that's found a few hundred deals from marketing in Knoxville, like strictly off marketing, right? And so have you tried flyers? Have you tried mailers?
Mailers, pay-per-click, social media. Those are the big three.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what you said to me the other day was, that's it. When it comes to marketing, we're talking about on the investing side, there is no magic. It is mailers, it is search engine optimization, or it is pay-per-click advertising. Pay-per-click advertising could be through Google or it could be through Facebook right? That's it.
Yeah. It's not reinventing the wheel. Everybody markets the same way. There's like 4 options. So just view it as gambling. Like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna gamble $5,000 this month. I might find a deal or two. Like 10 grand. Yeah. There are. But yeah, I've had better luck with those 3.
Signs will pick up as the market goes down.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying radio, TV,
Radio, TV, bandit
Bill-
signs.
bandit signs? Well,
I started banditsigns.com.
okay. I would say networking agents not, but in terms of marketing spend, in terms of, you could do bandit signs, you could do big advertising. Yes, Lily? Gotcha. So a bandit sign, those ugly yellow signs that you see?
They're on every street corner.
In a corner that says like I buy houses
Yeah.
or like an open house sign. That is a bandit sign.
That is $1 with a Sharpie, and you just stick it on the corner and see if somebody calls, and it's usually the city telling you to take it down because it's illegal. That's how that works.
Yes. Right. So there are some other, but when it comes to, if you talk at scale, it is going to be pay-per-click, search engine optimization, right? Or mailers. Those are the biggest consistent sources when wholesalers are looking
Yeah.
for leads.
My biggest advice is pick your budget. Know what you're willing to gamble because, you can do a whole lot with $5,000 and don't put it all on one thing. Split.
Start really small.
Yeah.
Until you get a deal, turn the deal over,
Yeah.
and then that becomes your new marketing budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish Jeremiah Holmes was here to talk about all the money that he's for the journey that Jeremiah went on wholesaling, where he did get up to running radio ads.
Yeah, he was doing radio and TV.
And then he got out of wholesaling. Like just so that whole journey of where he was spending all of the money.
Yeah, that one's like a little weird. I was having to hold it kind of funny. It works.
Okay. Anyways, you can go on.
Yep. Well, nurture, right? And it's nurturing your database. This is really just how to help stay top of mind. We've talked a little about some of these facets of prospecting, networking, and marketing. Now we're talking about really just incubating that database, creating digital content that ultimately converts. For our team, we really talk about this as our 4C principle, right? So this is just create content that leads to a connection that evolves into a conversation that ultimately leads to, say, a contract, right? Everything starts with just a piece of content, right? Talk about right here, closings. Think of content as anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily on social media. This could be you forward an interesting article out to people, all right? You find something relevant online that you want to share. That is a piece of content that creates a conversation.
And this is the method. So our business partner, Rob Chavez, has sold $1 billion in real estate. Like this is it. This is the playbook that we are running right now. This is the exact playbook that we're running to build this. So I know it seems simple. That's good. Good frameworks are very, very simple. If you start complicating it, it's not necessary. So incubate your database. So I want to have a database of people, right, that are potential prospects, people that might be interested, or potential bird dogs, right? That could be somebody at the barbershop. They should know, hey, if you see a rundown house, let me know. I'll pay you. Right? It can be that simple. It does not need to be overcomplicated. People in your world should know that you're looking for opportunities. And then with social media, it does this for you for free. All of your friends are automatically curated, and this algorithm is feeding your content to them automatically.
Yep. It's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's out there. It's running nonstop.
Yes. And E is for empower and impact your community. Like, if you actually have a value proposition and you have a brand, you're going to find like you can have a community, right? So how do I empower my community?
Yeah. Big one is just educating. Again, like sharing parts along your journey, finding things that you find relevant or interesting that you want to reach out and connect with other people and share with them. Educating them again on what, here, I just learned this, right? I've been diving deeper and deeper into opportunity zones over the last week. So I'm just nerding out on opportunity zones and the options that really has for investors.
OZ Pros, there's David Morris will put it in has a really interesting podcast on opportunity zones. You have a community, right? Who's posted a story that got 30 views? Yeah? If 30 of your friends listened to something that you had to say, would you feel special? Like if you got to sit up here and you had 30 of your friends around here listening to you, 30 people see the things that you're talking about. So when I talk about educating my community, it could be as simple as just sharing what I'm doing, right? Here's the lesson I learned. Don't assume that there's only termite damage on one beam, right? Before you have to redo the whole foundation. It could just be that simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated, right? I'm educating the community on what I'm learning. I'm attending and I'm hosting events.
That's right.
Ooh, engaging local businesses.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, you're really pro at this. You really went deep on it a little bit ago. Just like, what are you excited about? How can I help you? Who can I connect you with? Most everybody in here is a business owner of some kind, right?
You just got to believe you can make other people's lives better.
Truly.
Like, you should sit down with me for a half an hour. Like, your life's going to be better if you spend half an hour with me. Because I'm a cool dude. Here's all this stuff. Like, I'm a good friend. Like, that's it. It's not more complicated than that, y'all. I promise. I don't have business cards. You know what I mean? Like, no one knows who I am when I walk in the door. I'm certainly not anybody special. So I would just say, engaging local businesses are great opportunities. People that own businesses own investments and are interested in investments and have capital. Yes. Yep. Questions, comments, queries, concerns?
What is your average referral fee for someone bringing you a flip?
Carolyn says, what is our average referral fee for someone bringing me a flip?
What should I be charging?
What should you be charging people that bring you, for a flip that you bring?
Should I be paying people, or what should people be paying me?
Yeah, I see that.
What has someone else offered you?
Hayden's knowledge is 25%, so he doesn't let me take under, but
25% of the profit?
of the sales price and the profit, yeah.
Okay,
Depending on
so
what
you're asking, hey, if I have a deal and it's probably a specialized one because you're an investor, so I'm a realtor and I'm bringing a deal to an investor. What's the finder's fee that they're going to pay me? I would say, and Cory can answer separately, a standard finder's fee that I think any investor would probably do is 10%. That is pretty standard. It's a pretty standard acquisition cost and I vet them on the front end. Hey, Alex, if I found a deal that made sense for you, would you allow me to participate in it? Would 10% be fair? If the deal makes sense, it pencils out, great, fantastic. Now we've got an agreement before I bring the deal, and then I got to negotiate them on the back foot because you can get snaked that way all day long. There's lots of smart investors that are better at negotiating than you. I would say 10. You add a lot of value. What is your answer, Cory?
I would say I was going along that, like 10, 15% is pretty good all day long. I love doing joint ventures. I love partnering with people, right? So I love bringing people along that. So yeah, we can work out an equity split. We can do that. I've seen that as little as a couple $100. I've seen that be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Just as a flat, hey, this thing pencils out, works for me. Here's $2,000.
Carolyn knows her worth. Closed mouths don't get
1,000%.
fed. So you should be asking for 25%. So
Do it.
What about your average Joe or Jane that is not an investor and just an average Joe or Jane that knows a neighbor? Hey, I know my neighbor's trying to.
So Rashid's question is, if I'm just an average Joe or Jane and I run across a deal, I'd say 10% is a very reasonable, they may be very happy with less. That's the lesson that we have learned is like, you ask people what they want. Cory and I just had this conversation. We were talking about looking for capital, and he was thinking it from a joint venture perspective, but I was thinking it from a private lending perspective. And so it turns out people will private lend for 10%. So I don't need to go give up 25% of my deal to this person that had I just asked them, hey, what kind of return are you looking on the money you're lending? Very happy giving 10%.
Because I'm about to do that. I already post real estate.
Yep.
On fix and flips or old flips that I've done. And that will be a free marketing tool. Just put it on a reel because a reel never goes away.
Can I plus that for you, Rashid?
Go ahead.
So Rashid, also, if you need a car, Rashid sells cars, by the way, hit him up. Yes, Rashid's got your keys. And Rashid's got, over 10 doors. Here's how I would plus it, is just like, you should be investing in real estate. So bring me a deal, right? And you can watch, I can show you. You can come participate in the deal you bring, right? You can. Well, you could, but if you just plus it to that, right, that's an intangible value, you know what I mean? Because Will might be offering 10%, but he's not going to let me get in the game. He's not, like, what do I want to do? Everyone in the room, like, we talk about partnership all the time. If you find a deal, find someone else, partner with them, like, right? Mitigate your risk by working with someone who's more experienced, but get the experience. Like, I mitigate the downside because I have someone else that knows what they're doing, look at it, but I get to participate in the upside. And then we want to empower people. We want to see you be successful. We want to do deals with you. Yeah, I think that's be a great one. What else? Who's got a question? Garrett.
So as a new agent or, okay.
Yeah, you can come ask. That's Garrett.
Hey guys, I'm Garrett. So as a new agent or wholesaler, investor, I think it might all be alike. What is a creative way you can educate or empower your community on social media specifically? Besides like today I shared my story. I'm not quite comfortable on Instagram, so I just decided to get on there and go for it and just shared my story. But what is a way as a new agent you can empower your community?
Sure. I'll into that. So certainly, even on just the education side, let's start on that one and then we'll kind of get into empowerment, right? By virtue of you just taking the real estate course, not even passing the test, you have accessed more information than 90% of the general population has ever known, right? You pass the test and you start doing the business for a little while, you've learned even more so that you can share some basic facts around things you answered on the test that will add value to people's lives as a simple way to educate it.
I sat in a class. It was the purpose of the seminars 2 days was how to build $25 million in net worth. Pretty interesting class, right? How do you do that? And the guy running it was an agent, and there's a room full of agents, and he was like, "You're the best educated business people in the country, right? Because you understand a sales funnel, you understand a profit and loss, right? You understand how to value assets, right? Pretty interesting to think about, because I would say realtors are some of the most incompetent people I've ever met, and the most competent, most emotionally intelligent. Like, once I got people that are actually making money and being successful, it's really weird because there's a low barrier to entry. I think just sharing, like we talked about this, Garrett, it takes 80 years to save enough to retire. Right. Like, your friends should know that. Like, if you care about them, they should know some hard facts. There is a wealth gap in this country directly tied to a housing gap in this country. So the median gap in wealth across America is $350,000. The wealth gap. The average wealth gap is over $1 million between a tenant and a homeowner in this country. Anyone home ownership is the single most important thing to the middle class. I used to think that was like nonsense from realtors, but if you look at it economically, it is the single biggest driver, right? The racial wealth gap in this country is directly tied to the racial housing gap in this country, is directly tied to GIs coming back and not being able to go take advantage of the GI Bill, right? If you're African American, but if you're Greek and Italian and Irish, like, you're magically able to, go buy houses. You're white now. Like, that's just some, not to get on that's just some facts. Like, it's so one of the things we can do to erase that, let people be homeowners. Let them be real estate investors. Small business owners. Anybody else want to go buy a candy machine now? Good Lord. Yeah. Hey, Abby.
I was just going to answer that. So even being a newer.
Yes. If you're going to drop some nuggets, people at home need to hear them.
So being a newer agent and you're not exactly sure what to post or say because you're afraid you might say the wrong thing, I personally do not like talking about real estate that much. I show that I'm in real estate by doing days in the life and all that stuff. I don't like to post first time home buyer tips and seller tips because everybody posts those. So if you're new and you don't know what to post, just highlighting the community. So where you like to go eat, what parks you go to, posting those, it makes you look like an expert, which Amy is fantastic of doing that. When I think of Oak Ridge, I think of Amy. Even though we're in this together, if I have somebody that wants to buy an Oak Ridge, I'm probably going to call her and ask questions. So just leaning into those that that are in the market in those areas and collaborate with them. We actually just did a 25-day giveaway in December. We are agents. We are in competition with each other, but we collaborated and shared our followers. So there's a lot that you could do, even if you're not sure what to say.
But if I was an investor, I'll come try 1 second here. I would just be, because some of this is agent specific, right? I would be talking about either the stories, you know what I mean? How did I find my deal? What happened? What happened to that person as a result? I'll give you a very quick story that I could go share. There was a lot. I called this lot. The guy thought he didn't own the property. That's what he told me. I don't own that property, but I see his name on the property. I said, hey, if I could help you figure out the ownership of this, would you sell this lot to me? He said, sure. So we go through that thing. It was going to go to the tax sale. And as a result of that, him and his stepmom and everyone got some money out of this. They owed a ton of $50,000 to the city, right? They were going to get nothing. They didn't even think they owned the property, right? And we got a great deal. It's a win-win for everybody. My builder was very happy with me. That is a story that is intriguing. That is a story that is impactful. Or the flip side is what has investing done to you? How did you get into it? People, trust me, are curious. Would you agree, Cory? Are curious about that? They talk to us about this
all the time,
all day, every day, every day. There is a dearth of information, which is why you're listening to us. It's not like there's a ton of amazing options to learn this information. Before we wrap up, Amy, yes.
Just to say stories sell. Love the story.
Yeah.
Also, tell stories about past clients, other people's stories. Just because, you're chasing, a new client and a new deal, I still go back and I talk about the homes I sold before. I've got my clients on camera, and if you're an agent who has pulled to other agents, a compliment starts. And it starts a conversation.
Sure.
You can compliment Abby on how amazing she got that deal. Can I go film it? I'm sure she'll be like, yes, come to my cabin and film what you want. Any agent, if I call them, they'll be on the camera with me, or they'll just give me the listing. Maybe I have to ask permission. So you can become an expert or however you feel more confident very quickly.
Sure, thank you. The one idea I just thought of was, I'm in South Knox, love South Knox. Maybe I could just talk about the 5 reasons why I love South Knox and decided to move there.
I love it, Garrett. Speaking of South Knox, we've got some other events for you. Sono Investors Group, our friend Charles Gorman, first Tuesday of every
First Tuesday of the
month.
month. Yeah, it's usually right before us.
Yep,
So they
first
were last night.
Tuesday of the month. Richard Gamble and Jason McDaniel run Knoxville's best and real estate investor meetup. That's actually tonight. It's
Yep.
usually the second Wednesday of every month. And then our friend Hayden Fike in Chattanooga runs Southeast Best Real Estate Investor Meetup on the first Thursday of the month. So we'll post this in the Facebook group. If you're not in our Facebook group, highly recommend you jump in the Facebook group. And then we have an event coming up next Friday. Cory, what's up?
Yeah. So next Friday is going to be our Grid Donuts, Coffees, and Deals. That's going to be here next Friday morning. So we want to make sure we make space for folks that might not be able to make it out to like a Wednesday evening. So we started putting on these coffee meetups on what's going to be the third Friday of each month. So it'll be next Friday morning here, 8:30 a.m.
All right. Can we ask, we're going to wrap up. Can we ask one thing from you? I'm going to take that as a no, but I'm just going to keep pushing
Yes.
because I don't read social cues. All right, really fast. We're doing some social content. So we just need, we shot a reel before, right? And so, Alexis, you want to tell them what we're doing?
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? So we just need everybody to participate. If I can get everybody to kind of pull in closer and fill in some of these seats. And then we are all three going to stand right here. And we also need you to participate by talking in this reel. So it's going to be everybody saying it's all about your network. So we're all three going to stand right here.
Let's practice it.
Yes.
All right, so
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
It's all about your network.
Okay, network.
Yes. Network.
Not work.
No. We'll put subtitles on it just in case. We won't have any discrepancies.
Perfect. How we looking, Dalton?
Okay, I don't know that we want the mics in this
we
part,
don't.
do we?
The mic on this. What's up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrap up. Richard.
So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for coming out. This will be live streamed, and our next month, Cory, what are we teaching?
Teaching how to wholesale next month.
How to wholesale, how to get a deal under contract, control the deal, and then assign that to another person.
That's right. Thanks, y'all.
Alexis?